Hello, I'm Marilyn Stanley, Chief Operating Officer of Housing and Credit Counseling, Inc. Today I'm here to introduce you to Jim and Francine Bostick. Franny, you and Jim are just about ready for retirement. Tell us what your life was like 5 years ago.
It was hard. It was very hard. Jim was over the maintenance and custodial at the veterinary medicine complex at Kansas State for about 20 years. And I've worked as a custodial manager for the Department of Housing and Dining at Kansas State for 25 years. I've been with the university for 33 years. We've always worked hard and we always wanted, everybody wants nice things, except we use credit cards to get them. I'm not proud of the fact that we had so much credit card debt. We let things get out of control. Just used credit cards to pay for everything.
So the charges had been adding up for years before you thought about getting on a debt management plan.
I thought I could, eventually we'd be able to pay our debt off because I had all these grand plans. I would get an advertisement for a lower interest card. So I would say, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to pay off one of the higher interest cards. And then I'll do away with the higher interest card. And we would do that, but then I would keep the higher interest card because, if you might need it later on. And eventually, I ended up using all of them. Jim was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I knew that he wouldn't be able to continue working. And with the debt that we had, there was no way we could pay it. I lay awake at night trying to figure out how to pay things. How could I get ahead? How could I pay them off? I would pray and pray for God to tell me what to do, how to get out of this mess. And I would think about HCCI. Friends had told me about it, and I had looked it up online, and it was nonprofit. I like that. And I just kept praying and kept thinking, and finally, when I couldn't take it anymore, I called. And it was probably the greatest thing that I ever did. Once we met with our counselor, I just felt like a huge weight had been lifted. And I said a prayer that night, telling God to next time just smack me between the eyes with a 2x4.
So your counselor went over your entire financial situation to include your budget and all of your credit card bills. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah. Budget was something I didn't know a lot about, and she told me what we needed to do, and it took me, I think I had to go back 3 times. I was getting a little frustrated with her, but I knew she was right. She had told us that we definitely qualified for bankruptcy, but we chose not to do that. We had run up the bills, we had spent the money, we wanted to pay it back. We felt like we were obligated to do that. The first year was terrible. I oftentimes thought we had jumped from the pan right into the fire. Jim took a part-time job working with CarQuest, delivering auto parts, and I took a part-time job working with the school district. I had done Walmart as a cashier for a little while. That didn't last long. I worked from 7:30 to 4 at Kansas State, and then I would come home, fix Jim something to eat, and then go to the school and work from 5 to 9. I did that 4 nights a week.
You and Jim are remarkable. You made no excuses. After you left HCCI, you decided you weren't going to file bankruptcy. You were going to go ahead and pick up additional jobs and work hard to repay that debt. In the end, it was all worth it.
We were on cloud 9. Towards the end of our 5 years, was actually able to get a savings account, and since we've paid it off, I've been putting quite a bit of money away. The money that we're saving, we plan on taking our grandkids to Disney in Florida. And that one is going to be paid for up front.
Franny, our counselors teach financial literacy skills to youth and even adults. If you were going to one of those classes, what kinds of words of advice do you have for them?
Budget, budget, budget. If you don't have the money, don't spend it.
Franny, thank you for telling us your real life story. You've never faltered. You've actually followed through the entire time, and now you're debt free.
Credit card offers just keep rolling in. Just cut them up, because we don't ever want to go here again.